Hello, it's Ryan from 2minutetennis.net, and in this video, I'm going to help you understand the difference between closed stance and open stance ground strokes and when you should use those different footworks. Now, generally speaking, and there are exceptions to this, what I'm about to say, the lower the ball, typically it is a closed stance, and the higher the ball, the more likely it is an open stance. There are exceptions, and I'll speak about some of those exceptions here, but let's go over this. So let's talk about a closed stance first, and I'm going to include the neutral stance in the closed stance. A neutral or closed stance is when you're stepping, if you're right-handed, with your left foot, leaning in on that left foot and then striking the ball. That is typically how you are going to hit the low ball. The open stance is when you're stepping out with the foot that's on the side where you're moving. So if I'm moving to the right, the last step I would take if I'm moving to the right is going to be my right foot. And then I hit with my left foot on the left, my right foot on the right, and it's open. Now I'm going to turn my body when I do this, but my left foot is on the left and my right foot is on the right. So this is a neutral stance where my feet are in line basically with the ball machine. This is a closed stance where if I turn, you'll see my feet are switched. My left foot is on the right, my right foot is on the left, and this is an open stance. Now there are different types of stances from each one of those, but again, we're just going over the basics in this video. So when the ball comes low to you, that's typically going to be a closed stance. You want to lean in, you want to reach that ball. The lower the swing, or the lower the ball, the more the swing is a Ferris wheel. The swing is high, low, high. So we're going to step in, we're going to go high, low, high, and especially when we're moving, we're going to take this back foot and we're going to bring it around. And I cross over back to the center, split step. It's a low ball. I adjust my feet, I step into it, I hit. My feet are switched right now, which means if I turn and don't move my feet, I feel kind of like a pretzel. So I got to bring this back foot around to be able to turn my hips, and then I step under, cross over, and then get back to the center. So it looks like this. Low ball, closed stance, I fall out of it. I actually call it the closed stance fallout because you don't want to hit and then stop in this position. The closed stance finish is actually open so that your hips can turn, and then you cross back to the center. Let me show you what it looks like with the ball machine. You'll notice when I get to this ball, the ball is low. So I'm going to step into it. Low ball. That was actually kind of medium. There we go. Now we're going to talk about the open stance. Again, the open stance is when you're moving to the side, the last step you take prior to hitting is on the foot, is on the side where you're going, right? So that foot is on that side. So if I'm moving to my right, the last step I'll take will be with my right foot since I'm moving to my right. And I'm going to load up on that leg and I'm going to push off of that. That's going to be my anchor. I'm going to bend my knee and I'm really going to push off of that. When you realize that the ball is coming to you and you're going to be contacting it high, it's going to require a lot of body rotation. When the ball is low, you can get away with less body rotation. I can think about Sampras hitting a running forehand, and hitting and his body's still facing this way. When the ball is lower, there isn't as much rotation, especially if you're running. But if the ball is high, the swing is less Ferris wheel-like, and it's a little more around the body. It's still topspin low to high, but it's more like, think diagonally up and across the ball as you hit topspin. So the higher the contact, the more we're going to use that open stance so that we can rotate our body very easily. This is what it looks like. So this ball's going to get to me high, And it's really windy, so it's really messing with the ball. Darn it. All right, I'm just gonna deal with this as I can. So you'll notice I'm playing a ball around shoulder height. And I'm keeping my right foot to the right and my left foot to the left. That way I can rotate my body. You can see my upper body rotate. So I'm playing this ball around shoulder height, and I'm in an open stance. I'll show you what that looks like. I'm loading up, left foot's on the left, right foot's on the right. Now I'll give you two exceptions here. When the ball is low, I had mentioned that it's going to be closed stance fallout. But if the ball is coming very fast and low, maybe like a skidding slice, from a lefty that's going cross court like this, then I actually don't want to stop to close the stance and then let that back foot come over. I'm going to use what's called a mogul stance. That's a low skidding ball, and it's an open stance, but then as I hit, I hop, because remember, I'm running, because this ball is moving fast, so I'm getting there just in the nick of time. So I keep my feet under me, and it's called a mogul, because it's like I'm skiing, and I keep my feet under me as I hit this. So it looks like this. Then I recover. And I recover. That's the exception I'm gonna share with you in this video if it's a low ball and it's not a closed stance. When it's a high ball and it's not an open stance, it'd be great if you're gonna go forward and take the ball early. I can think about Connors doing this. He would get that high ball. He would do it a lot on his backhand, but he would get that high ball and he would come in and he would lean in and take it early and then go to the net on the approach shot. So I know what I said is a guideline, but there are exceptions. But like any rule, you learn the rule first and then you work on the exceptions later. Go out and practice, just rally with someone. If the ball comes to you, use the closed stance when you hit it. And by the way, this is the same for the backhand as well. When the ball is high, use an open stance. Will you always be right? No, but you're gonna be right a lot more often than you're wrong. So go out and practice this. There's no doubt you're gonna gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.